for the tip off. We'll take that W and hand you a loss. Break your ankles on the cross, on God, I'm that raw. Off the bounce, leave you on the first step. It might be a long night for you without some double team help. Or the whistle from the ref, I'm from the school of hard knocks. Watch how I hit them with a shimmy when I get them on the block. We talking nothing but hoops, a floor general and it's true. Spot up in the corner, man, you know I'm gon' shoot. Or slam like an alpha, I'm beastin' like a boss named Hefe. Trapping on the baseline, you escape no way. A baller like Kobe wearing 24. And y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel. With Mr. Slam and Alpha Dog 2 and Pure Wage with the best sports book too. If you wanna show support, give us a view. Call this an NBA jam. If you a super fan, hit the bell is what you do. We off the bounce. Check up. Level off the bounce. Let's get it.
He's on fire.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Bounce, sponsored by the man, the myth, the legend, Pure Wage. If you don't know about him, go follow him on Twitter right now. I'm Hefe. I got Alpha. I got BB with me. We got a big game for tonight. How are we feeling today, fellas?
Man, it's a good day. A huge game for. Whoa.
No, we went over this earlier.
I know we did it earlier, but we are at Off the Bounce. It has to happen. You got to give the people what they expect. Come on.
We have a humongous game for tonight with the Mavericks trying to save the season on the line, but it doesn't matter because there's no way they're going to come out with 3-0, and the Warriors are going to go to the championship.
Very good, very good. BBB, how we doing?
Guys, this is a humongous game, all right? You heard Hefe, so yeah, we got to dive into it. We got props, we got everything, so I'm ready to get into it. Let's go.
I will say in all seriousness, tonight, no matter how it goes, there are some great prop opportunities and have been some great prop opportunities this entire series for this for these teams because there's so many role players on both teams to choose from.
For sure. But boys, we got to break down last night's game. What a performance or lack of performance we had from the Miami Heat yesterday. Little tip for everyone in the crowd: we do not have a man in the back at the moment, so we don't have our beautiful graphics. So I do apologize. But boys, I'll start with BBB. What'd you think about last night's game between the Celtics and the Heat?
We got another blowout. So
yeah, I'm sick and tired of this bullshit.
Pretty much our normal conference final game here. So hopefully we get a closer game in this one. I'm looking forward to having a actual good game. Imagine if we had a game that came down to like a buzzer beater or something. It would feel like something crazy happened because we haven't even seen a game that's been like a one possession game. So,
imagine if we had a game that was remotely like the NHL playoffs. I mean, you take a look at the NHL playoffs compared to the NBA playoffs. What a difference in intensity. What a difference in close games. In real games, you don't know who's going to win. In these games we've had in the NBA playoffs, you know by halftime exactly who's winning these games. So hopefully we get some better games going tonight. Hopefully tonight's actually a decent game. The line's indicative that it should be. But going back to last night's Heat-Celtics game, I mean, the Heat starters were absolutely abysmal. They had 18 total points in the game. Max Struss put up a zero-burger. And Hefe, Max Struss did your favorite thing in the world. He had a straight lapse game. 0 for 7 from the field. 0 for 4 from 3. He had 0 free throws. He had 0 rebounds. He had 0 assists. He had 0 steals. He had 0 blocks. He had 0 turnovers. He had 3 fouls. The only statistic he put up were minutes and fouls. So, I mean, can't get that out of one of your starters. Hefe, what'd you think of the game?
I think that I can't blame Max Strus because it was the worst offensive performance I've ever seen a team put up in recent history. I don't know, in NBA history possibly. They didn't hit their first field goal until 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Their 4 out of their 5 starters, I think, combined to score less than 20 points.
All of their starters combined for 18
All their starters combined.
Oh, all their starters combined. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember if Oladipo started or not. Because he had 1 point, had 75% of their points in the first half. It was insane. Whoever watched that first half, it was like there was a lid on the Heat hoop, and only
it was
Oladipo
unwatchable.
had like
I'll say they went right away from what worked last game. They abandoned the Bam Adebayo train. Bam went 3 for 5. He didn't do bad. He can't only have 5 shots. Like it wasn't like, oh, he couldn't make anything. They just went away from it. They abandoned. Okay, hey, look, you went off last game. Guess what? You're not touching the ball this game.
Can I say something? It's a miracle that game didn't end up like the Grizzlies-Warriors game from last series where the Grizzlies were up by like 60 at one point. It's a miracle. And the only reason it didn't is because Boston actually had a pretty bad shooting night. Jason Tatum
They turned it off.
Yeah, Jason Tatum was 0 for 6 from 3. Jaylen Brown had a really bad game, foul trouble. They had no Marcus Smart, obviously. They weren't killing. Derek White started off so hot, then went so cold. They did not have a great offensive night, but they did the one freaking thing that they need to do and will continue to do and win this series by. They played the best defense I've ever seen. Al Horford was incredible on defense last night. Every switch the Heat made, the Celtics switched on. Every time they went ISO, there was a help defender. Every time there was a drive, there was hands on the ball. There was even open shots were hard. They were on the corners, off balance. It was, other than Victor Oladipo, there's not one Heat player that got through. And I'm a little worried that Jimmy Butler's a little more hurt than we think he is. Because he was struggling. He was struggling to move.
He's definitely banged up. And there's just, you have to see a better performance next game out of them. Good work by the Celtics for Tatum. He did shoot 50% from the field. He did not hit any of his threes, but besides that, we know how that game went. The game was over early on as we started. But boys, I know that was a quick one. Anything else we want to touch on before we get into tonight's slate?
It's incredible that the Celtics are the best. The Celtics, after a loss, are the best NBA team in the league this year. Flat out. The Celtics, after a loss, are the best NBA team. And I don't know how the math works out. Who would have home court advantage at the Celtics and the Warriors? Anybody know? I don't even know. Sure. I don't even know how that would. There's no like system. It's just the best record, right?
Yeah.
So then it would be Boston.
Yeah, I think it would be Boston.
So in that case, they would have the upper hand because they just simply. Jason Tatum's another person after a loss. It makes no sense.
Oh, that's weird, though, because, I mean, in the Western Conference, the Warriors finished third in the West. In the East, the Celtics finished second, but the Warriors had a 2-game better regular
season. If somebody in the chat can tell me if it's standings or if it's record, that would be helpful. But either way, we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's a 3-game series. Miami's not out of it. This is a championship team. They're going to reboot. And we'll talk about it tomorrow. I am really excited for Game 5 tomorrow. It should be a really great game. And I think we're going to get a different Heat team, but I also think Boston has finally found the key to their success here. It's a freaking Al Horford on defense. I couldn't believe it. He was amazing.
Oh, agreed 100%. He's been unbelievable all postseason, to be honest. You take a look at the stats from them. All 5 starters but one had at least one block. So they were getting it all on the defensive side.
It's calm. PJ Tucker, 0 points. Truce, 0 points. Man,
it's brutal.
Oh, this is the last thing I want to say, then we'll move on. This is an important thing that I noticed in the last little bit of the game. I was still watching because I took the halftime spread, which ended up actually freaking hitting Celtics +3. But the thing that I wanted to say, Duncan Robinson in the fourth quarter made about 3 to 4 threes. Like coming off the sides, like real contested shots. It got to the point where he made like 3 in a row. Watch out. He's the type of guy, he only needs to see a couple go in. Hero has an injury, which means Duncan Robinson's going to be playing. I'm not sure what his status is for Game 5. Sorry, Celtics +4 in the second half is what I had. It pushed. I just think that's scary. That's the only thing that he could take out of positive out of last night. Is Duncan Robinson playing the best they did, and that could carry over, and that could be a humongous positive for the Heat. Other than that, it was the worst game ever. They should not watch any game tape and burn it.
Yep, he's earning his trade piece. Great comment by Where's My Cup. Duncan Robinson is a trade piece. They don't give him the minutes he deserves. He hasn't really earned them either this postseason. I think it's a mutual best way to get them parted in the offseason, in my opinion. But, boys, you ready to break down today's slate? I can't find the little stupid breakdown thing. So I'm going to do the comment your favorite pick thing. So we got that going on. But let's dive in, guys, to today's slate. Hilarious. We have Warriors, Mavs. Mavs coming in at -1, -110. BBB.
It's a pick'em. This is the shortest line we've seen in the conference finals, right?
Yes, it is. Definitely the shortest so far, which means we have the potential to finally see a decent game. Shout out to our YouTube comments. Kelton saying this is one of their favorite shows. This needs more recognition. Best sports.
Oh my
We
God, this
appreciate
guy's
the
my
kind
gosh. Look at this
comment.
guy.
He's the star right now. He's saying Mavericks first quarter. Hefe, I'll let you break that one down. What do you think about the Mavs in the first quarter?
I think the only chance the Mavericks have to not end their season tonight is to come out hot. And the great scary thing is they came out hot in game 3. And then between the second and third quarter, they fell apart. They have to come out hot.
They came out kind of cold. Remember, they were down by like 10 the first quarter, and then they went on that.
Am I blacking out? Didn't Luka hit a buzzer beater at the end of the first?
They stormed back to make it 25-22, I believe, to end the first. They were down for most of the first. They had a great comeback towards the end of the first quarter, though. They ended the quarter.
Then they were up by 9, and at one point in the second quarter with like 2 minutes left, and they blew that.
It was a terrible. If you had first half Mavericks, there's no reason you watch that second half of that game. That was horrendous.
Yeah, I
what
did.
Is the public percentage, Alpha? Can you look into that? While I say my huge spiel, my typical spiel that I say that I wish the Mavericks would listen to. Why do they continue to have Luka score 40 plus every single freaking game and lose? It's obviously not working. It has to be the other guys tonight. Maxi Kleber, if Jason Kidd did not see him in practice put up confident shots, should not see a minute today. Just not a minute. Reggie Bullock, I don't know what to say, man. He tries hard. But Brunson, Dinwiddie, Bertans, they got to do more. These are marksmen. Kleber too, but he's obviously got some.
I have a question about the whole thing. Reggie Bullock, 30 minutes before the game, was doing a live interview regarding his what would you say?
So
involvement in the LGBTQ community.
No, he got an award. He got the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, I know. But it's all because his sister was murdered, and she was a big advocate of that. And it was 30 minutes before the game. I read a lot of articles that it wasn't right for the NBA to do that and make him go into those emotional stories 30 minutes before the big game. Do you guys think that had anything to do with him having probably his career worst night? I mean, he was literally opening up. He was tearing up on the set, talking about it. And it was only 30 minutes before game time. Do you think that had anything to do with his performance?
No, and if it does, that's messed up. I'm sorry. I get all that, and I'm very sensitive to that, and I'm sorry about what happened to him. That's devastating. This Absolutely. Is the NBA Western Conference Finals. It's game time. They say he ain't a rookie. This guy's been in the league for a long time. I agree. Lock in. I'm sorry. We're old enough to remember Isaiah Thomas playing for the Celtics after his sister got murdered. That was one of the greatest I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It was one of the greatest playoff performances I've ever seen in my life. What did he drop, like 50 in that game? It was insanity.
Something like that.
The point is you use your off-the-court motivators to intrinsically, motivate you on the court, play better, kind of fuel yourself. So, no, I don't think that was a bad move. I think they weren't focused. They thought they were going to – this is what happened in Game 3. I'm telling you, they got on the plane from San Fran. They got to Dallas. They thought to themselves, down 2-0 to frickin' the Suns. We can do this thing again. Came out in the first quarter, la-di-da-di-da. I remember now, Luka hit the first quarter halftime buzzer. Second quarter, they had it. And then something happened. I'll tell you what happened. There's no CP3 over there. It's Steph Curry, who was quite possibly playing some of the best basketball of his life. And they got no answer.
I think they just expected it to be handed to them. They thought, okay, we're going home.
100%, yeah.
We win these games. This is the one we're supposed to win. They didn't come out like they did when they I think it became expected. Like they knew when they were playing the Suns, like we got to come out, we got to, smack them in the face. First quarter we're coming out blazing. And that's what they did against the Suns and against the Jazz. But like here they just expected like, okay, we're going to win this home game because that's what we do. We win the home games and then we need to steal some on the road again. We'll get back into this. And they just got that the Warriors aren't just going to hand you the game. You got to go out there and take it. And they did not do that.
100%. Guys, quickly, I know Hefe wanted the splits earlier. It is a 51-49 split. Doesn't matter to you which side. It's a 51-49. I know.
So everybody feels about this game how I do. I'm torn. It's you could look at it from both angles. There's the angle of the Warriors have absolutely dominated the Mavericks pretty much in every second half. In the first half, it's been close. But in the second half, every single time. And if you listened to how some of the players, especially Luka, spoke after Game 3, it's a wave of the white flag kind of speech. He said, "I'm 23 years old. What do you want me to do? I'm still learning." And I get it.
I hated that.
I get it, like, right? But it's not very like.
It was such an immature speech. It was such an immature speech,
and it kind of gives off the vibe of like, "Hey, we weren't even supposed to beat the Suns, so we beat them. We're in the West Conference Finals. I'm 23 years old. I'm gonna be here for a long time. It's good that I get a loss, a sweep under me." And I hate that because I'm really trying to not read into that and look at today as like a singular game. That's the other side, right? Where it's like the Mavs, back against the wall, nothing to lose, young players, they don't know any better, they'll play freely, you make a mistake, who cares, we're going home anyway. And they might figure themselves out and make a win and get a win. And there's the Warriors who they know they don't really have to press tonight, right? They win, it's over. They don't. Oh, well. Game 5 in Golden State. Not worried about it. Oh, San Francisco, sorry. I don't know, guys.
One more thing I wanted to add to this one, guys, is there is something interesting on the splits on the total. Taking a look here, there are 38% of tickets on the under, but 80% of the money. So sharps are hammering the under 215.5 in this one. What do you guys think about the total? BBB, what do you think about the 215?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of leaned the under simply because I could definitely see a blowout where we just see, all the backups come in that fourth quarter. Good season, everyone. You tried your best, and then we just see the backups for like the whole fourth quarter. But I don't know, man. It's tough to call these with these blowouts because sometimes the blowouts turn into okay, this is going like 300 points under, or it's like, well, the backups came in and they're just shooting 300 threes and it goes over. So I'm gonna lay off.
So you think this is a blowout? So you think this is a blowout? So you think it's a blowout spot tonight?
I don't think I wouldn't be surprised because we haven't seen a competitive game really yet.
I understand.
I would love for it to be tonight.
I think the unders in play. I think the unders in play for a different angle. I think if Dallas has any chance to win this game, they have to control the tempo of this game. They have to control the pace of the game, and they have to limit the possessions of Golden State. It's what's worked for them in the regular season when they won a bunch of low-scoring games against them, and it's what worked with them in the first round. They won some low-scoring games as well. So I think the game plan tonight has to be a slow, methodical approach by the Mavs. What they do best: slow pace, play at Luka's speed, and get the win, which I think the Mavs will do, and I do think this one will go under. So my two official plays on this, without giving my props yet, are the Mavs money line as well as the under 215.5. FA, what do you think?
I hate to do it. I agree with both on you. I've thought about this for so long. I've actually started talking about this since that interview that we just spoke about. I think the Mavs win tonight. I think it means nothing to how I feel about the series. I don't think the Mavericks have a chance to come back. I think tonight I think you're going to see a Warriors team that's going to be lackadaisical tonight. They're going to commit the turnovers. They're going to commit the turnovers that they usually don't. They're not going to be mentally focused. They want to go home. They want that little bit of a rest before the finals start a week from tomorrow. And I think the Mavericks can exploit that. They have to come out with energy. They have to, because what's going to happen is if they come out with energy, they get a lead, the Warriors, and mentally, maybe not, they'll never say this, but mentally, some of those players will be like, you know what? We'll get them next time.
Of course.
And that's what it's all about. So I'm right there with you. I think under, I think Mavericks money line, and I have two props to get into as well. How about you, BB?
What are your official plays before we get to the props?
Yeah, my official play would probably be the Mavs here. I lean with the Mavs. I don't know if I'll have a play on my card for them because I just can't trust the side in this one, but I do have a lot of props in this one. If I had to choose, though, I'm leaning towards the Mavs and the under. So, but I do have some official props that I'm ready to rock out. So, Alpha, do you want to start us off with the props?
Yeah, before I do, I will say it's impressive, BBB. Your internet is doing what it sometimes does, where it's extremely lagging. We can't understand you. But the benefit today is your face is kind of frozen, but your words are coming out so we can hear your picks. Very interesting way we're getting that info from you.
Guys, I hate to do this, but I have to say we're dealing with a tragedy right now in Texas that just broke.
I heard about that.
Not even joking. 16 killed, 14 children, and a teacher in an elementary school.
I don't think that's something that we should go over on this show. There's enough negativity in the world. We are going to keep this about sports. I did see that right before the show started. If you
God bless to those families, man. God bless to those families.
100%. It's a scary and sad world out there, but 100% agree with you. If you guys don't know, you can check it out. But we're not going to go over what that's going on in this show because we're here to bring you guys sports and some positivity and keep the good energy and good vibes going. I'm going to start with my props, guys. My first prop on tonight's game is Reggie Bullock over 2.5 threes. I think tonight's the night he's going to have a bounce back. He's not going to have 2 terrible games in a row, and he does bounce back normally after a bad game. So give me Bullock over 2.5 threes tonight at -120. BBB, what's your favorite prop tonight?
Yeah, I got 2 for you guys. I got the Andrew Wiggins over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been their second most targeted scorer. He's getting the most touches on that team, and he's got the best matchup for them as well. He's got Luka trying to guard him. He gets to stay away from Bullock and some of the other more elite perimeter defenders. So I like for him to be able to just be more involved and continue to have success. And then on the other side, I'm going with Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists. I think he has to pass the ball for the Mavs to have a chance here. He's got to be looking to facilitate more than doing all these ISOs, going all the way down to 3 seconds in the shot clock and either taking a fadeaway or dishing it to somebody in the corner who has not the greatest look at a shot because of these ISO plays. So Luke's got to look to get everyone involved more. I am going to ladder that a little bit too. You can take as many as you want up the ladder, but I'm just going to skip all the way to almost the top of the ladder. I'm going to go 12 plus assists. It was at +600. I'm going to throw a small little bit on that as well.
Taking a look at the screen, BBB, before we go kick it over to Hefe, we have Kelton, who's been our biggest fan in the YouTube today. Luka PRA easy. What do you think about Luka's PRA? I know you were just glamoring over Luka. Do you like his PRA?
Yeah, I like Luka's assist on this one because I think he has to. I think his points, rebounds, and assist probably hits, but I also know it's pretty high. It's at 50, 51.5. I think that's right around where he'll be at because I don't think he's going to score 35 plus this game. I don't think he can score 35 plus this game if they want to win, unless he's just absolutely on fire. So I think he's got to be if he's got his open looks, he has to, take them, but he can't just do this ISO ball where he's, ruining the offensive flow for everybody else. Otherwise he might put up a cool stat line again, but they're going home in 4. So I think his over on points, rebounds, and assists is not a horrible bet, but I like his assists better because that's what they need to do to win.
I couldn't agree more with what you said about Luka. I think the only way the Mavs win is if he goes under on his points. I just don't have the balls to take the under on his points.
I know, 100% agree.
But I know what's going to happen. Mavs will win. Luka will have about 28, 29. And we should have taken the under because it's obviously the only formula. It's the only thing that makes sense. The man scores 40 back-to-back games. They lose both games. It's the others. I've been screaming this all series. It's how they beat Phoenix. It was the others. It's never been Luka. Never this entire playoffs. Not even in Game 7. Dinwiddie scored just as much as he did. It's never been just Luka. I don't know why they just keep trying to do it over and over again. I can't blame him so much in Game 3 because between Reggie Bullock and Max Kleber, they went 0 for 18 on threes. I'm looking at the 2 main other guys. Brunson and Dinwiddie. I'm taking both their overs. Brunson, 20.5. He actually had a solid game last game. He scored 30, but a lot of it was Garbo. And then Dinwiddie over 13.5. This guy was the only one who was making threes at one point last game. I like for him to stay a little hot. 13.5 is a low number. I like for him to hit that over. And Brunson's been the best Robin they've had to Luka's Batman. I do like the Luka assists side too. BB. That's a smart one. He's going to be the main ball handler tonight. So I could definitely see his assists going over. All right, guys. Well, that's all we got. So shall we do the old Wade to LeBron where Alpha screams at us?
Whoa, almost used my real name there. Wow, let's get into it, boys. Wade to LeBron. Best bets. My first best bet, as we went over, is the Mavs money line. Second best bet is going to be the under 215.5. My prop of the night is Reggie Bullock over 2.5 threes. BBB, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to have Andrew Wiggins over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and then also Luka Doncic over 7.5 assists, and then a little sprinkle on that Luka Doncic 12 plus assists, sitting at +600. So those are my 2 plus a sprinkle. Hefe, take us home.
Mavs money line, Brunson over 20.5 points. So my 2 best bets. I'm going with those 2 as the best bets, people. All right, everybody. Huge game 4 tonight. Let's hope it goes our way. Let's hope the Mavs win. Extend the series. We get another game to talk about. Other than that, We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place for Off the Bet. Same time, same place for Off the Bounce, where we will have an actual humongous Game 5 in a series that's tied 2-2 between the Heat and the Celtics, and boy, are we excited. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Shout out Pure Wage.